guess
I'm so sorry,
about what that august upper body is going to do with tax reform.
Thank you, Congressman. And you're a veteran as well, so we appreciate your service. Thank you for being with us.
Good to be here.
President Trump catching heat for some big decisions during the hurricane last night. But is the criticism fair? We're going to discuss that coming up next. They called it a Friday night news dump. President Trump makes some key announcements while Hurricane Harvey moved in. Joe Concha is a reporter for The Hill, a media reporter for The Hill, and he joins me now live and in studio. What's going on, Joe?
Judge Booth, good to see you.
I don't know if I can quite fill her shoes with that, but I'm doing the best I can. Even before the storm hit, we had Salon already criticizing President Trump's handling of the storm before it even hit. Your take on that?
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that so far, and I know there's still rain that's going to come for the next couple of days, but at least initially, do you think that the Trump administration, FEMA, the U.S. government has handled this in a meticulous, efficient, and even proactive fashion?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that writer from Salon, who wrote that story 3 days before even one drop hit the ground, do you think that she's going to write, maybe I got it wrong. Maybe the president deserves credit here?
No, I think she's probably going to dig in even further.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
It's my guess. If I had a guess, if I was a betting woman, that's what I would say.
I would bet that Conor McGregor will knock out Floyd Mayweather tonight before that ever happens.
I haven't been watching that. I don't know what's going on with that. But
well, it hasn't happened
We also
yet.
saw CNN also tried to turn the storm into a climate change conversation as well. Tell us about that.
Well, I saw that happen, obviously,
Sure.
talking about climate change. And this storm doesn't seem to have much to do with climate change. It has to do with it stalling out over Texas. Track of a storm has nothing to do with climate change, right? So, but I think what I also saw a lot last night on that network and others was this pivot to a news dump in terms of...
Which every president does, right, Joe? Because he's been catching a lot of heat for this news dump. We saw the transgender bathrooms, Sheriff Arpagio, transgender military.
Yeah.
The pardoning of Joe Arpagio as well. So, I mean, doesn't every president do this?
Every president does it. The FBI, we've seen over the last couple of months, does it. The Friday news dump has been happening for years and years. And here's the thing about...
President Obama's pretty good at it too, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely. And in fact, I'm glad you brought that up. January 17th, President Obama commuted the sentences of 1,700 prisoners. One of those people was a guy named Oscar Lopez. All right, this is a guy that Politico calls a terrorist. Politico, not exactly a bastion of conservative thought. All right, this guy, by all means, should not have been let go. So if you're upset about Joe Arpaio getting pardoned during a heavy news cycle, then you better be upset about Oscar Lopez, who was a terrorist. What was the quote that Politico used? The most organized, active, well-trained, and deadly domestic terror group in the United States, FALN. This guy was the leader of it. If you're mad about Arpaio, then show me the tweets on January 17th when President Obama had commuted the sentence of Oscar Lopez. If not, then that is the definition of selective outrage. And that's why people don't trust the media so much, because it's phony, it reeks, and it sticks to your boots.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, Joe, because when you see stuff like this, it's playing right into President Trump's hands when he goes out there at these rallies and he says, fake news, I'm looking at you, CNN or whatever it is, whoever he decides to call out that night. I mean, they're playing right into this, aren't they?
They are, because I don't think that the media is emotionally capable or mature to handle President Trump's insults. My wife's an ER doctor, right? And when people come in, she doesn't get emotional about anything. She just does her job. And when President Trump attacks the media...
Which is good for an ER doctor. That's
yeah, you got to have a steady hand.
Your wife.
But I think the ER doctors are a lot like reporters. In other words, the line between straight news reporting and editorial has been obliterated. And that's because a lot of reporters can't handle being attacked by Trump, so they emotionally get involved and try to punch back. That's not their job. And that's why NPR, PBS, and Marist had a poll just last month that showed 93% of Trump supporters don't trust the media.
Right.
Gallup, 70% of independents. So this isn't just a Trump thing, even a majority of Democrats.
All right,
and
Joe,
that's why that happens.
I'm sorry, but we've got to go.
No problem.
That's it for us tonight. It's been a pleasure being with you. I'm Lisa Booth, sitting in for Judge Janine.